Hi, my name is Kelly and welcome to my channel. So today we're going to be going over the books that I may read during the month of October. We're not calling it a TBR because we all know that I don't do well with TBRs. I'm very much a mood reader. So this is my pile of possibilities. Now, there are some books that I will definitely get to, but as far as everything else goes, it's just kind of up in the air. So the first book I want to talk about is the book for my book club on Fable. The book club is called Christian Spiritual Growth, and we read one Christian nonfiction per month. And the book we're reading this month is Inspired, Slaying Giants, Walking on Water, and Loving the Bible Again by Rachel Held Evans. That is the title. And I always forget at least one part of it, but I'm pretty proud of myself on that one. So this is the nonfiction that we are going to be reading for the month of October. I'm super excited about it. I can't wait to dive in and just kind of see what kind of truths Rachel brings out through her book. Another book club that I'm a part of is the Tuesday morning book club at my local library. And for the month of October, they are doing Persuasion by Jane Austen. I'm very excited about this. I have read this book 2 times, and it is the one Jane Austen book that I didn't read earlier this year. So that was kind of fortuitous, I thought. So I am gonna read this. Hopefully, I haven't been able to make it to the book club in a few months just with homeschooling and everything. And since it's Tuesday mornings, like we're usually schooling that during that time. So I don't know, we'll see. If not, that's okay because I have already read it, but I want to read it just as a way to just kind of refresh myself on it. This is so many people's favorites, and I'm not going to lie, it's probably number 5 on my list. So I would like to read it again and see if I can gain a new appreciation for it. And I'd really just like to be able to go to book club again because I really miss those ladies. Another book I'm reading is a buddy read with Kay. We are going to be reading The Mysterious Benedict Society by Trenton Lee Stewart. I'm very excited about this. I have heard a lot about this book. So many people love it. So I'm excited to get into it and read it for myself. It seems interesting so far. I'm a couple of chapters in. Today's the 3rd, so I've already started a few of these books, but I am very, very excited about this, and I know that there is a movie, so maybe I'll watch that movie after I am done with this book, or maybe it's a series? I don't know. I feel like I saw something somewhere on TV about it one time. So, and I like watching movies or TV shows of a book after I finish it, just to see what they changed, and are the changes they made, does it make the story more palatable, or does it make more sense for the story, or does it just make me angry? So anyway, we'll do that. But I'm excited. It's a bit of a chunker. Like for a middle grade book, this is a chunker. I think it was almost or over 500 pages. Yeah, it's almost 500 pages. So that's a chunker for a middle grade. But so far, the first few chapters have been pretty interesting. I'm intrigued, and I'm very excited to talk through this book with Kay as we read it together. So there are a few books that I am continuing that I have been working on for a little bit. I haven't had much time to listen to audiobooks lately, so I am still working on DragonQuest. I feel like I already like it better than Dragon Keeper was the first one. Or is that the series? Dragon, you know what? I'll put it here. But I already like the second book better. I'm really enjoying it. It just is keeping me more interested. I just wish I had more time to listen to it because I am listening to it on audiobook. The other book that I'm still working on, and I will be working on it for a while, is Gone with the Wind. Remember, this is my beat up copy that I got from Goodwill. But Gone with the Wind, listen, guys, this is over 1,000 pages. It's going to take me a minute. I'm about a quarter of the way through. I just got past a chapter that made me cry. I'll talk more about that whenever I do a review on this, but as somebody who had a few scary moments when her husband was deployed. That chapter really broke my heart and kind of took me back to those moments. So I wasn't expecting that with this book. It was a bit much, but I'm still continuing on with it. All right, so there are several readathons happening for the month of October, and they all sound so amazing. So I'm planning to try to do at least a couple to fit each one for sure. And maybe we'll see. So the first one is the Middle Earth Readathon that Reese is putting on. I'm very excited about that. I love Middle Earth. As some of you may remember, I read it through the Lord of the Rings series for the very first time this year. Hobbit has been a favorite book of mine since I was like 12 years old, 11, something like that. And so I am so excited for this readathon because I love Middle Earth. I haven't quite decided which team I'm going to be yet, but I'm probably going to go with like the Hobbit team. I'm going to put her link down below where she announces it so that you guys can see what it is. Another readathon happening is the Gothic October. So I guess that this is something that a few different people do in a few different ways, but Sarah Collar has released her own version of Gothic October, and it seems to be a bit easier to read books that kind of meet those guidelines, her prompts, I should say. And so I'm very excited about that. I haven't read a ton of Gothic literature, but I am interested in it, and what I have read so far I enjoyed. I just don't like the super dark stuff. So anyway, I will put her video, her announcement video down below as well. Another readathon is the Journey Through the Bible that Katie over at Paperbacks and Ponytails is doing. I'll put her video down below as well. And then there's also Victober, where people are encouraged to read Victorian literature. I believe that, I can't remember her name, oh no, but the channel is Books and Things, and she has like a bunch of co-hosts this year, I think, and so they do Victober every October, and I have been interested in Victorian literature. I haven't read a lot of it, but I have been interested in it, and I do want to read more. So this month has a lot going on, and my goal is going to be read the books that I feel like reading. There's a couple that I am specifically choosing for these things, but I'm just going to read the books that I feel like reading and then hope that they fit into one of the prompts for each thing. We'll see how it goes. But like I said, I'm not much of a TBR person, very much a mood reader, so we'll just kind of see how it flows. So the next book, it actually goes with the Middle Earth readathon that Reese is doing, and that's the Silmarillion. I have been meaning to read this for the past few months, ever since I finished the Lord of the Rings trilogy. I'm so excited for this readathon because it is encouraging me to finally just grab it. And let me tell you, as soon as I opened up that first chapter, okay, well, it wasn't a chapter, it was like a prelude or something like that, where it's talking about the creation of Middle Earth, and his writing is so beautiful. And I was reading it and I just had the goofiest smile on my face because I was so happy that I was reading Tolkien's writing again. And that chapter really was so, so beautiful. So I'm going to be reading this, and this definitely will go specifically with the Middle Earth readathon, but I think that I might be able to fit it into some other prompts for some of the other readathons as well. But I'm very excited about this one. The other one that I'm reading that is specific to one of the readathons is Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. This is the group read along for the Gothic October that Sarah Collar is doing. And it's kind of been on my list for a while. And honestly, I kind of planned to read it in October before I knew it was going to be her group readathon. So that was perfect timing. I've already started it. It is a romantic suspense, apparently, according to this little tagline right here. But I am very intrigued. I'm interested to see where this goes. There are some characters already that I'm just like, I don't know how I feel about that character. So I'm enjoying this so far. I'm excited to see what happens, what is the suspense part. I've heard so many people talk about how much they love this book. So I'm really, really, really excited about this one. Now, the other books that I might get to that I'm right now in the mood to read them, but I don't know if I will be later. We'll see. But as of right now, this is my pile of possibilities. So the first is The Importance of Being Earnest by Oscar Wilde. I have been wanting to read this for a while. I've heard that it's really funny, and the only thing I've read from him was The Picture of Dorian Gray, which was kind of dark. But then to hear that he had a play that was super funny, I was like, okay, I need to see that side of Oscar Wilde too. So I'm enjoying this so far. Already started it a little bit. I got through scene 1, and it's just some of the conversations that they have and like things that they say that are just not what you would expect someone to say in a real life conversation, but it's just witty, satirical things that they say, and I'm enjoying it so far. The other book that I was thinking about reading this month is And Then There Were None by Agatha Christie. I have heard so many people talk about how amazing this book is, and I just started reading Agatha Christie like last year. And so I found this book at a thrift store, and I was like, okay, that's it. I'm reading it in October. It's the perfect time for a mystery. So I'm definitely looking forward to this. I want to see what all the hype is about, and I'm sure that it's worth it because I've heard so many people say how good it is. I also plan to read Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde by Robert Louis Stevenson. I forgot his name for a second. It's just a thin little book, but I realized I don't think I've ever read the unabridged version of this. I think I only ever read like the little children's one. Um, so I figured that this would be the perfect time to read it. Like I said, it's a quick book, and I'm reading Frankenstein with my daughter for her schooling right now, and there's a book that someone told me about. I can't remember the name about it right now, but it kind of explores the difference between Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde and Frankenstein and a biblical worldview of these books. I don't know. Listen, I'll put the picture here somewhere. And that is the book that I'm hoping to get to soon, but I wanted to refresh myself and, well, actually read the whole unabridged version of this. And I'm refreshing my memory of Frankenstein by reading it with my daughter right now. So I'm doing these with purpose, but they're both pretty quick reads. So I'm pretty excited for it. I also might read The Time Machine by H.G. Wells. I don't think I've ever read anything by H.G. Wells. Pretty positive I haven't. And so I figured that this could be a pretty good start, right? If there's one that you think I should start with from H.G. Wells instead, let me know. But this is the one that just kind of stood out to me, and I was like, I'll do this one. I have a couple more, I think, but this is the one that stood out to me. So I'm excited for this. And I want to reread, because it's the perfect time to do it, I want to reread The Moonstone by Wilkie Collins. I've only ever read it once, but it was such an amazing read the first time I read it. So I do want to read The Moonstone again and just kind of see if I pick up on things that I didn't pick up on before and just get to experience that. Like, his storytelling is so good, and the way that he approaches like different people's point of views, giving you the information that they had from their side. It's so good. It's so, so good. If you haven't read this book yet, you should do it. But it's so good. I'm really hoping I have time to read it in October, despite all of the other books I'm reading or might read. Another book that I thought maybe I would get to is The Merchant's Daughter by Melanie Dickerson. This is book 2 in the Hagerheim series. I don't remember what that series is called. Does it say in here? I don't think it does. I think by the title and by the mirror right there, I think that this is a retelling of Beauty and the Beast. I enjoyed the first book, which was The Healer's Apprentice, and I believe that that was the first book she ever wrote, and I've heard great things about her writing. So I kind of want to go through and read more of the series and just kind of see if I like her storytelling and like as it goes on. I felt like I liked it already, but I want to see how she grows and how she kind of does the rest of the princesses fairy tales. But I'm interested in this one. Hopefully I'll get a chance to read it. For the Victorian literature for October thing, one of the books or series, I guess technically you could call it, that stood out to me that I could read was Sherlock Holmes. And I have the complete works here. I'm not going to read all of them this month. Ain't no way. No way. But I thought I could read at least one of the stories in here and just kind of get my Sherlock Holmes fix, maybe watch a couple of movies. But I think that I want to try to read at least one of the stories in here. And then the last book that I was considering reading was The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle by Stewart Trenton. I read this, I think like 5 years ago, and it was interesting. I thought it was a really good book, but it's been a while since I read it, and I don't remember exactly what all is in it, and if there's anything that would kind of like raise a red flag for me these days. So I want to reread it. And I do remember that the mystery aspect was really good, but I want to reread it and see if there's anything that is something that I would have to warn somebody about when recommending this book to them. So anyhow, that's all the books that I might get to this month. I mean, honestly, knowing me, I'll probably decide to read some other completely random book and that has nothing to do with Victorian literature or Gothic literature or Journey Through the Bible or Middle Earth or anything like that. Knowing me, I'll probably just get a wild hair and decide to read something random. But these are the ones I'm interested in right now, and I'm actually pretty excited about this list. However, if there is a book that you would really recommend for me to read this month that you think would just fit so perfectly with one of these readathons, let me know. And if you've already read some of these books, let me know your thoughts. I'd love to hear them. Don't give spoilers, but I'd love to hear them. Anyhow, I hope that you guys have a great reading month, that you have a blessed month, and that you have a month that actually feels like autumn outside. Because I'm a little bitter. It doesn't feel like autumn right now. It's in the 80s. It's silly. Anyway, have a great day, guys. Bye.